What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Thursday afternoon. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm bringing you the Black and Blue Injury Report for the New York Giants Thursday, January 12th, 2023, as the New York Giants continue to get prepared and ready for their WildcardRound matchup on Wildcard Weekend in Minneapolis, Minnesota against the Minnesota Vikings in a rematch after when they played on December Christmas Eve. Now, this injury report is a little bit longer than the one yesterday, where there was only a few players on the injury report. This time, there's quite a few. A bunch of them got a little bit nicked up in this game and have little minor injuries, but I don't know if it's going to be able to keep these guys out of this game. We'll have to wait and see. But the New York Giants had ended up 8 guys on the injury report today with some new additions. So, just starting out with the limited guys, I'm going to start out with Adoree Jackson, who head coach Brian Daboll actually said was hopeful and encouraged during his press conference this afternoon. He was hopeful and encouraged about Adoree Jackson, who has missed the past 7 games with that knee injury, the sprained MCL that he received when he was trying to make a kickoff return in that game against the Lions. But he's still expected to be limited at practice today, which he was. Adoree Jackson was limited again today with the knee injury. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Adoree Jackson. We'll have to wait and see because it still sounds like Brian Daboll is a little bit concerned about that knee injury with Adoree Jackson. He has gone 3 straight weeks of limited practices, but we'll have to wait and see if Adoree can be able to get back out there and play on that injured knee. Now Jason Pinnock, who's dealing with the shoulder injury and a stinger, he did shed that red non-contact jersey today and was able to get a limited practice in today with that shoulder injury and stinger. So that's a positive news that the Giants might be getting another one of their depth safeties out there on the football field. Also, Leonard Williams, who is continuing to deal with that neck injury, and Leonard Williams even said today that he's been reaching the playoffs has been the light through a trying season physically. Williams also said that he has the nerve issues in his neck that result in stingers during games. He feels better after resting last week, but inevitably it will flare up again on Sunday. Pretty much meaning that Leonard Williams, no matter what he does, when he gets out there on the football field, he's going to be feeling that neck injury either way. So it's going to have to be something he's going to have to deal with however long the New York Giants are going to be able to go in this postseason. And then Azeez Ojulari, who ended up saying he feels a hell of a lot better dealing with that ankle injury than he did before, after he could barely even play on it when he played against the Indianapolis Colts a couple of weeks ago. So at least Azeez is feeling a little bit better compared to what he's been dealing with this entire season. Like Leonard Williams, it's been a very trying season for Azeez Ojulari, who's been dealing with numerous calf injuries and now dealing with an ankle injury. He's also was limited at today practice. But we have some new additions on the list. Both wide receiver Marcus Johnson and right tackle Evan Neal, both are popped up on the injury report. Marcus Johnson dealing with a knee injury, not specifically knowing what kind of knee injury, but he has a knee injury right now. He was limited today practice. He's more of a special teamer now, if anything. And right tackle Evan Neal, another player that's been battling multiple injuries this season. Sprained MCL, for he missed a bunch of time since he got hurt in the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Then he ended up dealing with a shoulder injury that bothered him for some time, and now he's got an ankle injury, and maybe that has to do with his limited and poor play the past few weeks against, the likes of the Colts and the Eagles and even against the Vikings. He's dealing with an ankle injury that he was limited at practice today, but at least the 2 of them, at least all 6 of these guys were able to get limited practices in today for the New York Giants. Then you have Jon Feliciano, who's been battling multiple injuries himself, back injury, neck injury. He's been dealing with a leg injury, even had an ankle injury at some point. He's been dealing with a lot of back, neck, and leg injuries this season, but he at least was able to get a limited practice in today. Good sign for Jon Feliciano that he might be able to be good to go for this game against the Minnesota Vikings. He'll be back out there as the starting center. Ditto for Xavier McKinney, who's been dealing with that hand injury over the past few weeks, ever since he got hurt in that ATV accident all the way during the bye week after the Jacksonville Jaguars game. So a little bit longer of an injury list. A lot of guys just battling nicks, bruises, minor injuries out there on the football field. Some of them coming back from pretty big injuries, and some of them just trying to manage through what looks like it's going to be injuries that are not going to heal until until the season ends and these guys are able to go out there and at least get a proper rest out there on the football field. So it is what it is. A lot of these guys just trying to fight through these minor or major injuries throughout the rest of the season. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with these New York Giants players. But just to go over the injury list one more time, Adoree Jackson dealing with the sprained MCL, at least according to Brian Daboll. It sounds like that he has been hopeful and encouraged by what he's been seeing with Adoree Jackson in the past few weeks at practice. Still not 100% sure he will be out there on the football field come Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings on primetime in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But at least it's encouraging he's getting out there to practice. Marcus Johnson dealing with the knee injury himself. Not sure the specificity of the injury and what is bothering him in that knee, but he got a limited practice. Evan Neal, multiple injuries this year. Now it's an ankle injury. He at least got a limited practice in there today, which is at least positive, at least got a limited practice. Azeez Ojulari, same thing. Multiple injuries this guy's been dealing with. Calf and now an ankle. He got a limited session. Jason Pinnock dealing with a stinger, was wearing a red non-contact jersey yesterday, able to shed that today. He at least got a limited practice today with a stinger and a shoulder injury. And then Leonard Williams, who has been dealing with neck pains and stuff the entire time, pretty much all season. It's been a very try season for Big Cat. He got a limited practice today. He's going to gut it through for the rest of this postseason, and he says it's going to be an injury that's not going to be able to heal until he gets some rest. And then Jon Feliciano dealing with a back injury. He got a limited session. Same thing with Xavier McKinney, dealing with the broken fingers that have been healing. And he's going to wear a club on his hand since the ATV accident during the bye week. That is your Black and Blue injury report for the New York Giants, Thursday, January 12th, 2023. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and injury reports around the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short they'll be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And let me know in the comment section what you think about the latest injury report surrounding the New York Giants, and what is your feeling about who might be ready to go and who might not be able to play, and if these guys are going to be 100% heading into this big playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings Sunday at 4:30 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Take it easy, and let's go New York Football Giants, as always. Together Blue, everyone.